although the SPD says Payne was arrested on the scene in Boca on one charge of refusal to provide a truthful name and one count of false report to law enforcement. We're told the 29-year-old NBA player was released from custody a short time later.
Now, why would you give
Payne
a
finished
fake
last
name to
season with the
cops,
Philadelphia
especially when you have that kind of
76ers after
staff?
being acquired from the Milwaukee Bucks via trade. An 8-year NBA veteran, Payne has spent time with the OKC Thunder, Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Phoenix Suns, Milwaukee Bucks, and Philadelphia 76ers. According to TMZ, Payne was released from custody after a short period of time. A free agent this summer, Payne will be a veteran guard option for teams looking just 66 of his 405 career games. Payne has been a host of his career, averaging 7.9 points per game and 17.9 minutes per game in his 8 seasons. Related articles. JJ Redick fires back at former NBA star over viral Michael Jordan statement. Anthony Edwards makes statement on Michael Jordan. Major Zach LaVine to Lakers trade idea proposed. This article was originally published on his 8-year NBA veteran reportedly arrested. Facebook Gmail Messenger copy link. 5.1k followers Chicago Bulls on SI. The latest news and analysis on the Chicago Bulls.
Pass this up, he was doing 62,
NBA.
now look, I'm still doing 59
NBA
in there.
veteran reportedly arrested by Joey Lynn 10 hours ago. U.S. Long Island Rex Heuermann serial killer true crime New York crime.
What's he doing now?
Defending the
60,
devil.
he's doing
Serial
63.
killing lawyers speak out on Gilgo Beach murders published June 15, 2024 at Daylight Saving. Loading.
67.
Video player is loading.
68.
By Jenna Sundell, reporter
Why
of
wasn't
Live
he
News
doing that in the
Paula.
first place?
1. The
Probably
legal team for the
distracted
accused
driving.
Gilgo Beach serial killer has a tough road ahead of them according to the high-profile defense attorneys who represented the infamous Charles Cullen and Thomas Husky.
Could be
Johnny W.
intoxicated
Mask
too,
and
but
Gregory
I would
P.
say
Isaacs
more
spoke to
likely
Newsweek about what it was like to defend an
La La
accused serial
Land,
killer and
distracted
gave their
or
perspectives on alleged Gilgo killer Rex Heuermann's case. It was basically 8 years out of my life in practice, but it was not a bad experience, Mask said. Mask represented Charles Cullen, who admitted to murdering 40 people in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and some believe he could have hundreds of victims. Through his job as a nurse, Cullen gave patients a fatal dose of medication in their IVs. He pleaded guilty to killing 13 patients and to attempting to kill 2 others in New Jersey in April 2004. He pleaded guilty to murdering 3 more the following month. In November 2004, he pleaded guilty to murdering 6 patients and trying to kill 3 others in Pennsylvania. He is currently serving 18 consecutive life sentences at New Jersey State Prison in Trenton. Nurse Charles Cullen, left, stands as his attorney. Johnny Mask reads portions of the details of Cullen's deal with prosecutors during a hearing Thursday, April 29, 2004, at the Somerset County Courthouse in Somerville, NJ Tony KURDZ UK, Associated Press. Newsletter The Bulletin. Your morning starts here. Begin your day with a curated outlook of top news around the world and why it matters. I want to receive special offers and promotions from Newsweek by clicking on Sign Me Up. You agree to Newsweek's terms of use and privacy policy. You may unsubscribe at any time. Isaacs represented Thomas Husky, who was accused of murdering 4 women in Tennessee in 1992 during 2 trials. Both resulted in a hung jury for the murder charges and the case was ultimately dismissed. Prior to the murder trial, Husky was convicted on several rape charges and sentenced to 64 years in prison. The dynamic that I had with 4 capital homicides, it's a tremendous amount of work because if they're being tried together, which in my case they were, you're basically doing 4 capital cases at the same time, Isaac said. Exclusively available to subscribers. Try it now for $1. Media frenzy and death threats. Heuermann is being represented by Michael Brown, a former Suffolk County prosecutor with experience in criminal defense. He served as the Assistant District Attorney with the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office from 1992 to 1995. Since then, he has been running his own private practice. Rex Heuermann appears next to his attorney Michael Brown at Suffolk County Court in Riverhead, NY, on Wednesday, April 17, 2024. James Carbone, Associated Press. Brown did not respond to Newsweek's requests to be interviewed for this story. Isaacs explained what it feels like to be in the courtroom for a serial killer case. I have done and do a lot of high-profile cases, but when you have the specter of a serial killer, this may sound cliché, but it almost adds a chill to the courtroom, Isaacs said. So it's a very different dynamic and electricity that until you've been there, literally it's hard to describe.
Why the hell did you need to come
Isaacs
over
said
like
one
that,
thing to
stupid?
expect when representing an accused serial killer is a lot of attention. There's the media frenzy. The public,
Fucking
for whatever
moron.
reason, good or bad, appears to be
Get out of the
captivated by the
damn
fact
way,
that there is a
shithead.
serial killer in their community, Isaacs said.
Why do you have to do
explained
that?
what
You didn't
draws
even need to
people
be in
into a
this
serial
fucking
killer
lane. You're not here
case.
to pass
I
anybody.
think it gets attention because of the rarity of the situation, Mask said. There's not that many serial killers around, and people are curious about what would make a person commit these crimes, and they want to see what's going on in the heads of individuals that do these things.
And
The
at that
defense
speed,
in
you
Husky's
really
case
have no
included
need to be in that
dissociative
lane.
identity disorder, which Isaac said increased public interest in the proceedings. Accused serial killer Thomas Husky, the reputed Zoo Man, listens as lawyers open his capital murder trial in Knoxville, 10, on Tuesday, Jan. 26, 1999. Husky was accused of first-degree murder in the deaths of or Michael Patrick, Associated Press. There was actually a personality that was the killer, so there was a lot of sensationalism, Isaac said. With the increased attention on the case, Isaac said it is not unusual for the defense team of an alleged serial killer to receive backlash.
Fucking retards are
He
allowed
said
to
his
drive.
team received
I
death
swear.
threats while defending Husky. It's going to be a lot of public hostility, vitriol, animus, and that's just something that the defense team is going to have to deal with, Isaac said. But what you want to ensure is that professionally, you create a vacuum, because oftentimes you'll see judges or prosecutors play into the public pressure and the media frenzy and the media scrutiny that's on the case. Isaac said it can be difficult to have people looking
No,
over
we're
your
not
shoulder,
slowing me
but the
down.
important thing is to focus on the case. Read more. How Valerie Mack and Shanann Gilbert are connected to Gilgo Beach killings. Rex Hoyerman's
Yeah,
wife in the
speed's
dark.
changing.
Experts compare case to
54
BTK's
to
double life.
56,
Rex
now
Hoyerman's
57.
alleged murder profile mirrors Green River killer. Expert 87 chilling details. Alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer's checklist revealed Rex Hoyerman's alleged murder spree could spread coast to coast. What you've got to be very careful of is that you are laser focused on what goes on inside that courtroom and do not get distracted by anything that happens outside the courtroom, Isaac said. Mask recalled one instance when he received backlash while defending Cullen. The serial killer was preparing to donate a kidney, so he requested to waive his presence at the sentencing, which Mask said was allowed under state law. If he were to do that, the families wouldn't get a chance to confront him face to face and basically say what they had to say about the sentence, Mask said. And so they said bad things about me, saying that I was the one that was encouraging it, but I was not. That was just his way of making sure that the kidney transplant occurred.
To stay in front
So
of
it
me
was
with
not
the way you're
anything
fucking
major, the
driving.
comments that people made to me.
Stupid asshole.
Mask also shared how his experience was a bit different because his client pleaded guilty. I've been doing this for 40-something years, and when it comes to criminal clients, he is probably one of the easiest clients to represent, Mask said. And I say that because he didn't have any expectations of walking out of jail. When he was arrested, he had already given statements to the police basically incriminating himself, so he had almost no expectations of beating the case. Serial killer nurse Charles Cullen, Center, sits with his public defender Johnny Mask, Wright, court during his sentencing in Somerville, NJ, Thursday, March 2, 2006. Mike Darrah, Associated Press. While Mask did not have to prove his client's innocence, he still played a critical role in Cullen's case. My intent was to save his life, because at that time New Jersey still had capital punishment, Mask said. Mask was able to help Cullen avoid the death penalty by making a deal with the state. Cullen agreed to cooperate with authorities and provide details with how he carried out his murder spree if they did not seek a death sentence. What's ahead for alleged Gilgo serial killer? Hoyerman was initially charged with murdering 3 women in July of 2023. Another murder charge was added in January, and 2 more were added last week. Rex Hoyerman poses for his booking photo on July 14, 2023. A former escort who says she once went on a date with Hoyerman has revealed what creeped her out about the encounter. Suffolk County Sheriff's Office via Getty Images. Isaac said the 2 additional murder charges could complicate the case for Hoyerman's legal team. You have a tremendous responsibility and workload, because one case in and of itself is a tremendous amount of work, but when you look at it exponentially, it is just a lot of heavy lifting for that defense team, Isaac said. Mask also talked about how the defense has a difficult case ahead based on the new evidence uncovered by the district attorney's office. Along with the new charges, Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney revealed his team found a planning document, allegedly written by Hoyerman, which lays out preparation and other details related to the crimes he is accused of. Rex Hoyerman, the alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer, made a list of notes. The evidence was found in March. Court documents. The new evidence seems very strong, and it seems to point that something happened in that house. And if he's the author of those, especially the notes, it's a tough case, and his attorney has got to be in a tough situation, Mask said. Another thing that can make things harder for the defense team is when the defendant is being considered as a suspect in additional murders. Other names of potential victims were referenced in the documents released by the court last week, but no additional charges have been filed. The investigation continues, Tierney said at a press conference on June 6. That investigation has been expanded, both to the bodies that have been found on Gilgo and beyond. Rex Heuermann, the alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer, made a list of notes. The evidence was found in March. Court documents. Isaacs said there was an effort to accuse Husky of murdering other victims as well. You've got to just put your legal blinders on because in my case, my client was suspected of being the Green River Killer. Additionally, Isaacs said, anytime there's a body that the cause of death is not readily apparent, your client is going to be the #1 suspect. So what you have to do is put your blinders on and not get distracted, and just focus on the cases that you have. The alleged Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann is not all that unique, at least when it comes to being a serial killer, as experts describe him as a prototypical sexual sadist. And the more Getty Images forensic psychiatrist Dr. Sanjay Adia told Newsweek that Heuermann shares some similarities with Gary Ridgway, who is known as the Green River Killer. Ridgway was convicted of 49 murders between the early 1980s and late 1990s, with many of his victims being sex workers and other vulnerable women. Heuermann also allegedly targeted sex workers and vulnerable women.
I don't know.
I think the reason that sex workers are targeted is a lot of people wouldn't be alarmed if they're missing also. They're thought of as being vulnerable, Adia said.
So far,
The police don't have infinite resources, so they would not focus on if they found out a sex worker is missing. It's not going to be the top of their to-do list. How prosecution will approach Gilgo case. Looking ahead to the trial, Isaacs talked about what to expect and what approach the prosecution may take as they argue their case. The prosecution is going to portray Heuermann as a calculated, cold-blooded serial killer that preyed on vulnerable people, Isaacs said. They're of somebody that to be very scary. They're going to be apprehensive. They're going to be watching him as this proof unfolds. Heuermann's estranged wife Asa Ellerup had no involvement in Heuermann's alleged crimes, her lawyer said in a previously to Newsweek. Asa Ellerup, left, the estranged wife of Long Island serial killing suspect Rex Heuermann, arrives at court in Riverhead, NY on Wednesday, April 17, 2024. Tom L. 8 BUI Newsday Associated Press. If the accused serial killer has a spouse, people often wonder if they were aware of their partner's alleged illegal activities, according to Isaacs. If you're the spouse, obviously you don't want to be an accessory after the fact, Isaacs said. If you did know, you would have placed yourself in significant legal peril and legal jeopardy. I think that adds to what's going to be racing through this jury's mind as they hear about this double life. Mask shared some skepticism about the wife's knowledge of Heuermann's alleged crimes. She lived in the house and supposedly, he did all of these things in the house when she was out of town. I don't know what out of town means, but it's tough to live with a partner and not observe changes in the house when you come back. You can just sort of sense, Mask said. Mask explained that prosecutors could use Ellerup to get Heuermann to confess to the crimes he's accused of. They might, somewhere down the road, threaten to put charges on her to try to put pressure on Rex to admit to these things and plead guilty, Mask said. Earlier this week, an attorney for potential victims of Heuermann, John Ray, alleged his daughter Victoria Heuermann made in view not said yet. Mask said it is possible that Rex Heuermann might take a plea deal. If he wants to work out a plea bargain, basically in my opinion, you just have to come to the realization that his days of freedom are over. Whatever plea bargain will basically mandate that he serve every day of the rest of his life incarcerated, Mask said. If he's not of that mind and he wants to go to trial, then it puts the state in a difficult situation too, because they will have to prosecute and prove each and every death. Isaacs talked about what the strategy for the defense will likely be if they do not claim a mental health defense. It's going to be trench warfare, where you try to make the prosecution prove each and every homicide beyond a reasonable doubt, Isaacs said. Even if the case makes it to trial, Mask said some of the charges could be dismissed to make the case a bit easier for the prosecution. If they get a conviction on one or two, chances are he's going to get a life sentence anyway. So they might end up just being willing to dismiss the others if he gets convicted on one or two, just to save money, Mask said. But that might be an unpopular thing to do, as to how do they decide which case to plea and which cases to possibly dismiss. The defense could also benefit from a change of venue for the trial, Isaacs said. You don't want somebody that's seen this on the news, somebody that's read about it in the paper, someone that's heard about it on the internet, somebody that's been inundated with pictures of the region where the live and how there's dead bodies under bridges and marshes, Isaacs said. You just want to try to get outside that media sphere of influence and pervasive coverage and hopefully find people that can be fair and impartial. Mask, however, said the prevalence of the case will follow it wherever it goes. The case is so well known and I don't know where they could put the cases that will be beneficial to him, Mask said. That facts of the case are going to control it, not the geography of the potential jurors. Fairness meter. Newsweek is committed to journalism that's factual and fair. Hold us accountable and submit your rating of this article on the meter. Click on meter to rate this article. Request reprint and licensing. Submit correction. View editorial guidelines about the writer. Jenna Sundell. Follow. Jenna Sundell is a Newsweek reporter based in New Jersey. Her focus is reporting on breaking news. Jenna joined Newsweek. Read more. To read how Newsweek uses AI as a newsroom tool, click here. Loading. Trending. 01. Black hole, plasma fireballs, created on Earth. 6 comments. 02. Donald Trump's birthday celebrated with massive MAGA boat parade. 173 comments. 03. Aerial images show Florida flood destruction. 4 comments. 04. Princess Kate's cancer statement in full, not out of the woods. 18 comments. 05. Abortion pill access, copper wire theft and Biden wanderings. Today's front pages. 16 comments. Left pointing arrow back to homepage. Latest update. Order inside New York's latest luxury apartments. Map shows China's military drones partially encircling neighbors' territory. Social security warning amid U.S. population shift. Defending the devil. Serial killer lawyers speak out on Gilgo Beach murders. The debate. Young people, don't give in to the fear. Have children by Kylie Ora Lobel. B.S. Worrying, population declines are actually a hopeful sign by Kirsten Stade. Opinion. Young people, don't give in to the fear. Have children by Kylie Ora Lobel. The scourge of performance.